Good evening, everyone. So fantastic to feel the energy in this room. I have a sense that everyone needs a party. Welcome to our awards ceremony. This is such a special night of the year for FNIH when we pay tribute to some remarkable awardees who exemplify the NIH's mission to turn discovery into health through their research, their partnership, their advocacy, and their communication. So thank you for joining us to celebrate their achievements and the incredible community that makes scientific process possible. That community is really well represented here tonight, and when I just scanning the audience and talking to a few people, I see that many members of our patient community and their caregivers are here. Our partners are here from academia and in the life science companies, and so many other colleagues who are united by a single purpose. And that really is their commitment to invest in the promise of biomedical research and, in the hope it brings to people. So, of course, we regret that our NIH director, Dr. Bhattacharya, who had planned to deliver remarks tonight, and a pantheon of wonderful NIH scientific leaders who were also planning to be here, couldn't join us given the government shutdown, but I know they're cheering us on. Today, from where I sit, this is an incredibly wise crowd, a diverse cadre of investors in science who are helping us at FNIH build bridges to breakthroughs. You really power our ambition to build the kind of research collaborations that amplify the effect of the NIH by accelerating new treatments and cures for the many patients who are still waiting. And that is exactly what Congress intended when they created us in 1990. So, my FNIH colleagues and I are incredibly grateful to everyone who's supporting our work and for sharing in this celebration. But I do have a few very special thanks to express, so please hold your applause until I finish them so that we can hear about these very important people. And first and foremost, I and the FNIH owe an incredible thanks to Fred and Donna Siegel and Perry Steiner and Vanessa Kay for their premier investment and for serving as chairs of this awards ceremony. And I also appreciate Fred for his incredible and tireless leadership of the entire campaign. But we're also grateful to all of our visionary sponsors, including Nina Shelson, Sandy Zywafack, Judy and Peter Bloom Kovler Foundation, Shelley and Alan Leventhal, Stephen Jan Paul, Pfizer, and the Weiss Family Trust. And we thank you, but we thank all of the sponsors who are highlighted in the program and on our screens. I'm also incredibly grateful for the contributions from the majority of my FNIH colleagues who contributed to this evening, as well as our board members who've been incredibly generous. So, together, the aggregate generosity has allowed us to exceed our fundraising goal of $1.2 million. So now, please join me in applauding. Thank everyone for your incredible contributions. These critical investments aren't really about this dinner. They are about how we catalyze our private-public patient partnerships and help to support promising investigators in their labs. But right now, I think most importantly, they help restore and sustain confidence across a broad ecosystem of scientists, and especially the young scientists who need reassurance that biomedical discovery and translation is alive and well in America. So in that sense, you are all angel investors, and thank you. Really want to thank that. I really have a truly joyful job for at least two reasons. First, I serve at the pleasure of an extraordinary board of directors led by our remarkable chair, Dr. Steve Paul. But I'm also grateful to benefit from the direction of such smart, experienced, and dedicated leaders who are always there to support us any way they can. But second, I'm privileged to work with all of my amazing colleagues at FNIH. They are spread throughout our tables, so please get to know them and let them tell you their stories so that you can hear about their passion. They somehow sustain their passionate purpose as they've negotiated some of the really unprecedented challenges this past year, and I think they deserve to take enormous pride in our growing portfolio of research partners in the US and around the world. These partnerships really do contribute to people's health. So let me just give you a very brief snapshot of some of the contributions that we're involved in right now and what we're looking forward to in 2026. So we have 12 accelerating medicine partnerships. These are partnerships with NIH and their counterparts in life science companies and patient organizations and academia that really identify new pathways and new targets for complicated conditions that need better medicines. For example, neurologic diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, or autoimmune diseases, rare diseases that need gene therapies, and many, many others. So the data from these programs help companies prioritize investments in new treatment candidates, and the data are always shared with other investigators. So far, the ripple effect from the AMP portfolio has resulted in very large open data sets, 9 data sets, as a matter of fact, open data portals that contain 818 data sets, and they have been downloaded by 37,000 people and led to more than 2,100 scientific journal publications. So that's the kind of team science and the scale of the science that we conduct at FNIH. We're waiting for a signal from FDA about another really important milestone for FNIH. We anticipate that a new biomarker for osteoporosis will likely accelerate development of new medicines for that common and usually undertreated condition. Bone mineral density changes happen much faster than bone fractures and can be easily measured with an inexpensive test. So when FDA fully qualifies changes in this marker as a substitute for fractures, studies of new osteoporosis medicines can be smaller, more efficient, and much faster. So we should be able to open up the pipeline of medicines for this all too common condition. That's just one of the many accomplishments of the Biomarkers Consortium. Today we've finished 25 high-impact products. We have 18 that are actively running and 14 more in the pipeline. These are all advancing biomarkers like the one I just mentioned across cancer, inflammation, metabolic disease, and many other conditions. So it's another team science achievement. I don't want to leave out our global health programs because we have an amazing portfolio there that probably doesn't have much visibility in Washington, but we do have important programs that focus on malaria, TB, HIV, vaccines, and maternal health. Just one example, our Gene Convene collaboration is helping to support the use of biological control programs to reduce the risk of mosquito-borne infections like malaria and dengue, Zika, chikungunya, and several others in high-risk communities. We also recently launched new programs that will improve precision treatments for cancer, predict cognitive decline in Alzheimer's disease, and identify patients at risk for painful gout. And next year, we're going to launch a very large study, longitudinal study, to re-energize the science that underpins major depressive disorders and aims to improve the precision of diagnosis and hopefully the appropriate utilization of medicines in a more precise way for treatment. Equally exciting is a study that will help unravel the neuroscience of music and music therapy, something that's dear to my heart. So that snapshot is just the tip of the iceberg of what's been going on for the last few years at FNIH, and I would love for you to join me in applauding the team and their partners who support us. Thank you.